Thank you very much, Your Excellency. On behalf of the NUC, I welcome you again. I welcome your entourage, and I hope and pray that when we listen to you carefully, we will very quickly put our heads together and come up with a decision today before you leave. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. You know, we do some telepathy in the NUC. You will see it now. When you speak, something will happen, and then some telepathic mission will happen. You see, that vaccine that you just mentioned, Your Excellency, is called Nairomycin. And when you have the holder of Nairomycin, who is a co-host, he must speak. So I'm going to invite the holder of Nairomycin of the education system, Professor Suleiman Elias Bogoro, who is the co-host, as the years have said, to please give his warm welcome to the governor. Professor, sir.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Delta State, the Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission, my senior brother and co-host, permit me, distinguished guests from Delta State, very, very distinguished in every sense of it, directors of NUC, and other guests that have been invited. Without wasting much time on the protocol, I have no official and immediate role to play, but let me thank the Executive Secretary of NUC for giving me space, and to go beyond that, to appreciate him for accepting. When the lion moves out of his den, it is a big story. That is what invariably turns out to be when the Executive Secretary of NUC leaves this premise to join us to host His Excellency, the Governor of Delta State. This is a rare opportunity. I cannot miss this chance, and I don't want to take much of your time. Everything has been said in terms of preliminaries. I want to thank all of you for joining us, and we look forward to the brief but meaningful ceremony for an upcoming Delta State University, and we should be able to conclude the aspect that requires our attention from that point when we get over there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency. Your Excellency, I'd like to, I've seen in the program that they said visitor to the university, but I went around and I looked at some things, and I know you're visitor to the universities. So I have the pleasure to invite you, Your Excellency, to tell us officially why you are here, Your Excellency. Thank you very much. You have the floor, sir.
I believe I want to adopt your protocol since you have drawn our attention to that. Members of the National Assembly here present, the Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission, Professor Abubakar Adamu Rashid, MNI, MFR, the Executive Secretary of the TED Fund, Professor Buguro, the Deputy Secretaries of the National Universities Commission, and members of the management of the Commission, the delegation that accompanied me from Delta State, particularly recognizing Professor Azinge-san, Chief Idu, and Dr. Emmanuel Tibi, and my brother, His Excellency, Ambassador Delson Ichibile, and the Commissioner for the Ministry of Higher Education, who is the architect of what we have come here to do, Professor Mobuhari, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. First, I bring you warm felicitations from the government and the good people of Delta State. And I must say that we are truly excited that with us today, we also have the Executive Secretary of TEDFON. When you are flanked by two professors, it can only but bring forth great tidings to such a state. And I believe that Delta State is blessed on this historic day. On Monday, February 22nd this year, a new and historic chapter was opened in the annals of tertiary education in Delta State. On that memorable day, the State House of Assembly passed an executive bill upgrading 3 existing institutions to full-fledged universities. They are the College of Education Agbo, now University of Delta Agbo, the Anwai campus of Delta State University, now Denis Osadibe University, and the Delta State Polytechnic Osoro, now Delta State University of Science and Technology. This landmark decision has not surprisingly been acclaimed by virtually all stakeholders in the education sector in the state, but by all Deltans who have shown so much happiness that we are bringing education, particularly tertiary education, to their doorsteps. There are several reasons for this. First, in the last decade or so, we have witnessed a drastic drop in the demand for programs offered by higher institutions other than universities. The sharp increase in the demand for degree programs was observed in 2007 at the College of Education Agbo, after the National Universities Commission formalized the approval of its affiliation to the Delta State University to run some degree programs. As a result of the continuous increase in demand for degree programs, the College of Education Agbo at the moment has over 50% of its students' population enrolled into the degree programs. Hence, it is utilizing most of its resources to run degree programs to the detriment of the National Certificate of Education, NCE. Similarly, due to the low student subscription to the Delta State Polytechnic Osoro, its resources are being underutilized. And it's important to state this, that we have 3 existing polytechnics, and we believe that 2 of the polytechnics can continue to cater for the polytechnic needs of our people. That we needed is University of Science and Technology. We also have, beyond the College of Education Agbo, we also have 2 other colleges of education in our state. And we believe that the action that we have taken with the support of the National Universities Commission is going to help us to truly consolidate on tertiary education and to ensure that resources are actually utilized in the best interest of our people in the state. Meanwhile, the Delta State University Abraka has already reached its full carrying capacity. For the 2019-2020 academic section, 25,896 candidates chose the University of Abraka, the Delta State University Abraka, as first choice. Out of this number, 22,358 qualified, but only 4,854 candidates, just about 20%, could be admitted. Regrettably, those who are unable to secure admission due to limited spaces in existing institutions are forced to seek education, opportunities in various expensive, non-accredited sub-degree programs in either private universities or other mushroom universities in neighboring countries. Schools that are not comparable to even the worst of our universities. As a government, we cannot allow this to continue. A situation where our youths are forced to obtain substandard degrees is not acceptable, and certainly it is counterproductive. Our people have a long-standing history and value for education because at the levels of the family, communities, and state at large, they have always considered education to be at the heart of their success in life. There are about 500 public secondary schools and double the number in private secondary schools in Delta State, all churning out SS3 graduates every year, thus increasing the population of admission seekers. Even as at today, just to look at the upgrade, we have over 1,100 primary public schools in the states, and we are still under pressure to even build more primary schools. Establishing these 3 universities will definitely help to broaden access and equity for the huge number of our secondary school leavers who are yearning for affordable, accessible, and guaranteed placement and quality higher education. The geographical location of Delta State even made a strong case for the upgrading of these 3 institutions to universities. Being a top oil producing state, we expect the oil companies to support research and development in the universities through their corporate social responsibility programs. As part of the tripartite functions of a university, research and community action will enable the universities to provide solutions to the myriad of environmental challenges occasioned by oil exploration in the Niger Delta. These universities shall also bring about prudent sharing of resources. For instance, subscription to commercial database for e-library can be done jointly by the 3 universities, thus bringing down the cost of subscription significantly by each university. As full-fledged universities, they have the advantage of focusing their resources on producing high-quality human capital in their areas of specialization. The local economy stands to benefit from the establishment of these universities. As centers of excellence, they will drive developments in agriculture, technology, and the provision of high-quality teachers for the state's primary and secondary schools. It is also our expectation that there will be increased employment opportunities because a university has more operational organs compared to other higher institutions. From the foregoing, it is quite evident that the benefits of establishing these 3 universities far outweigh the costs. Thankfully, much of the infrastructure needed for their successful takeoff are already in place. We have also received maximum cooperation from the local communities in terms of the land required for expansion, especially as it relates to such faculties as law, engineering, and medicine. To ensure sustainability, my administration is putting in place structures for viable funding and resource mobilization, as well as a sound corporate governance and management system for these universities. We are currently designing a robust plan for manpower recruitment and development, and I assure you that there will be accelerated progress in this regard within the next 90 days. As a government, we are deeply grateful to the Executive Secretary of the Commission and his top management team for their support and encouragement. Indeed, we are humbled by your cooperation and readiness to listen to our plans and offer counsel. We would not have come this far without your expert input and guidance. On our part, we undertake to adhere strictly to the National University Commission's regulatory requirements. It is a new day for us in Delta State, and we are grateful, sir, for your support in helping to make this dream a reality. Thank you all for your time and your attention. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. May God bless Delta State. And may God continue to encourage you to assist us to build an educational sector that will help our nation into the centuries to come. God bless you all.
Thank you very much. I'm sure His Excellency, like you, the mic, sir, because we will still need you. I'm sure he deserves a better round of applause. The speakers, he has a lot of justifications for the university. So I would like to invite the governor now to give the executive secretary the planning documents for the universities one after the other. And probably while doing that, mention that this is the planning documents for university, this and such and such. So please can somebody take the documents to the governor? He will be handing over the planning documents of the 3 proposed universities to the Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission. Okay. It's all right. They will need, for the camera, sir. There we go. So the governor will just hand over one symbolically. Just wait, sir. Wait until they're done with that. That is,
This is
okay, go ahead, sir.
the Executive Secretary. I thank you for this opportunity. These are the documents for the University of Delta, Agbo, Delta State. Mr. Executive Secretary, these are the documents, along with others, for the Delta State University of Science and Technology, Osoro, Delta State. Mr. Executive Secretary, these are the documents for the Delta, for Dennis Osadebe University, Amaya Saba, Delta State. And this is particularly dear to our heart because Dennis Osadebe is the only former premier who has not been so honored. So we thank God that we have the opportunity to honor him. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Now, within the next few seconds and minutes, there will be a management NUC will be holding. It is telepathic, and then when we finish, the ES will announce the result of our meeting. So I'd like to invite the ES to chair the meeting briefly, and then announce the decision of the meeting. Yes, sir.
Well, thank you very much, Director of Public Affairs. I think while you were making the announcement, you didn't notice without the...
Thank you very much, sir.
Let me first congratulate the governor for his presentation, for his report, which he read a few minutes ago. He has touched on a number of issues that are central to the concerns of the Commission and to the concerns of higher education development in this country. It is very true. At least I will just take 3 issues very briefly. He has talked of the craze for university education in Nigeria. It's not anybody's fault. We suddenly woke up in the last few decades to say everybody wants a degree. So most of the existing federal polytechnics or state polytechnics and colleges of education are busy awarding degrees in affiliation with the universities, not the diplomas or the NCEs. And for many of them, it is the degrees that they award that has kept them alive, for many of them. So sometimes, I mean, it's just being honest and true to say, so when the governor decides to convert an existing college of education whose soul and heart and brain and spirit are more with the university setting than with the college of education setting, he is only demonstrating his own very strategic knowledge of what the people want. Yeah, that's what the people want. In UK, we all know they went through this phase. But in 1992, also, they decided to convert all their polytechnics into universities. All in UK. Now, here we are happy. The governor is not here to say we are creating 3 new universities from the scratch. He's just saying we are converting 3 existing institutions that he has noticed are fairly being a little bit underutilized for the campuses of one university. You have one Delta State University with a big campus focusing on education in Asaba. You have one campus focusing on science and technology in Ozoro. You have one campus focusing on others in other places. The only difference here is that instead of getting deputy vice chancellors or provosts to take care of the campuses, you now want to grant them autonomy, and you have a vice chancellor each, you have a management. So the only difference actually is just the cost of principal officers, few of them that you are coming, and then they are more likely to be more efficient in administering the institutions. Another implication of this is that today, after my consultation, which we did with the ICE, I have looked at this man, the Deputy Executive Secretary Administration, Rama Yusuf. Yes. He normally doesn't dress that well, but today is a special day for Chukwu and my other colleagues here. So after our consultations, it is very clear that today Delta State will make history as a state government with the largest number of approved universities in the country. There are a few of them with 3 universities. And we have been talking to them, look, it's not creating a university. The idea is not just you want to create a university. You can do it in every local government. But what are your plans for the university? What do you put in place to ensure proper funding? 45 federal universities and 53 state-owned universities. 45 federal, 1 in every state of the federation, and there are 36 states. Federal government has cited 1 university in every state, and has cited 1 in Abuja, making 37. There is 1 national open university, headquarters in Abuja, but with branches all over the country, making 38. Then government has also decided to allocate 2nd federal universities in 3 states now. 1, Delta, that is Okoro. 2, Benue, that is the medical or the health sciences university in Otukpo. And 3, Zuru, that is the Kebbi, the Federal University of Agriculture, Zuru. Then the Nigerian Army have established a university that is not for the military, for the army alone. That is only 30% for army, 70% for civilians, and it is being funded through the army's public budget. So it is sited in Biu, in the headquarters of the Boko Haram area in Borno State, the Army University Biu. So we consider it as a second university in Borno State, making federal government selecting 4 states in the country to establish a second university, and Delta is one of the 4. Then, of course, we have 3 armed forces universities: the NDA, Defense Academy in Kaduna, which is sited in Kaduna, but where the admission is 100% based on quota. Kaduna State does not have 1 slot higher than Delta State in NDA. That is how they do their own. So as far as we are concerned, that is a national university with a physical presence in Kaduna, but it is for the entire 36 states. We have 4 universities, and it will be the state with the largest number of state universities. And when you add the 2 federal universities, it will be the state with the largest number of public universities in the country. As I say, it is something worth celebrating, because you have the headquarters of universities. Of course, currently it is Ogun-Lagos axis, where you have over 25 universities around Ogun-Lagos axis, but largely private. But in Delta, the number is growing. Excellency, we have a lot of respect for you and the way you do your things. We will advise that kindly, before the takeoff of universities, you just don't become political acts. Let them also be made to serve the purpose you have stated. So it will be good if you summon a who is who meeting in Delta and come up with sustainable funding arrangements for these institutions and see how they survive, which programs they offer, reduce redundancies, duplications, unnecessary duplications, encourage them to be innovative, encourage them to create or to go into those courses, areas that the state requires, that the zone requires, that the country requires, and so on. So an NUC will be a willing partner to work with these universities to assist them to see that they truly fulfill the vision for which now you will be referred to forever as a founding father of 3 children of the same day. So you are the founding father. So we thank you very much. You have raised a very important issue of mushroom universities around the country. We are every day battling, working with ICPC, with EFCC, with the police, with NYSC, with other issues, working sometimes to go to press, spend our money to prick the conscience of Nigerians, to remind them that there are institutions created in Benin Republic, in Cameroon, in some other areas, where the institutions have been established only for Nigerians to go there. And many Nigerians go there and in 3 months or 6 months return with a degree. Many of them in 6 months they earn a degree. Now they have even invented something. You don't need to have a passport, you don't need to go there at all. You register and they say they follow you here, they'll just get 1-2 bedroom flat somewhere. And after some interactions, few months, you negotiate and you get your degree. First class, you know what you pay, 2-1, 2-2, you earn. And we sat down with the Director General of NYC here. We have discussed a lot, we are working together, and it's very sad and pathetic. If you see many of those who wanted to be mobilized into the NYSC, who could not write down the alphabets in English, them cannot fill in all of them, and they have a 2-1 in software engineering or in all these issues because they just award them in some of the And when we, just 2 days ago, sir, we have had to go to the Corporate Affairs of Nigeria, CACIA, for a very useful interaction to discuss with them another trend, another tendency in this country where people want shortcut. They will just go and register a university name in CAC. I don't know how much they pay, 10,000, 20,000, I don't know. They just register, they will just say Governor Okowa University. It's a private university. So once the name is reserved for them, they will just go and say they have registered a university. And they will start. So we'll be battling with the NUC to say, no, you are not. Federal government has not, you have not followed the due process. We have so many things. So I have said, honestly, it's a very important thing. Let us come out openly. There is a need for more universities in Nigeria. With this, we have now 197 universities in the country. 98 of them are public, 99 of them are private. But the total enrollment in the 99 private universities is only slightly over 5% of the total enrollment in Nigerian universities. We have only 2.1 million students in Nigerian university system today. Only 2.1. And the entire private universities, 99 of them, can account for only 5.01%. The rest are in public universities, again for some of the reasons you have clearly stated. So we need governors who are visionary, who are courageous, who are bold, and who are education friendly to come up with bold initiatives like this, but to follow it up with concrete plans and arrangements for the success of the universities so established. We have no doubt that you will do something to follow up on this, to ensure that the universities do not become beggars after 2-3 months, and there are arrangements, some state, local governments partly funding from theirs, but these are things that you in Delta State will know how best to do it. So we thank you very much. We welcome your initiative and your 3 requests for the establishment of 3 universities. We have considered, we have approved in the commission, and we have named the University of Delta in Ago, Delta State, as the 51st state university in the country. The Delta State University of Science and Technology, Ozoro, as the 52nd state university, and the Denis Osadebe University, Asaba, which I think is largely going to be focused largely on education, particularly science education. Very important. I deliberately put this because we tend to ignore that the foundation of all we do and what we will do in digital economy, in our knowledge economy in the future, will be measured by our investment in science and technology, including medicine, agriculture, and the rest. And this can only come if our secondary schools have good teachers. Exactly. You can only get good teachers if you have a very good institution like the Denis Osadebe University of Education, focusing largely in the areas of science education, mathematics, education chemistry, education physics. You'll be surprised, sir, if you ask your commissioner for education to find out how many qualified science teachers are in public employment. Qualified science teachers, I mean physics teachers or mathematics teachers with a degree, good degree, with the education background, with a degree in physics also. In some states, one of the important states here in the north had only 2 when I sat down with the governor. Only 2. You will be shocked if you know how many. Because people are in hard work. Everybody wants to reach something where he can stay at home and attend the lectures, 20% attendance and pass. But for many of these, so I would like you, sir, to discuss this, and I want to assure you, if we are informed before the retreat or before the summit, we shall be represented and we shall openly make our contributions and our views. Our hope and prayers is that these 3 universities, which you have had the courage to establish, which you are not going to see the benefit during your time, because when you invest in education, it takes a long time. It may take 10 years, 20 years before the state begins to appreciate properly the significance of today. We want to encourage you to say you have done the right thing. We want to encourage you to do more right things to ensure that these universities survive, not only survive your administration, but survive the next 10, 20, 30, 50 years and stay to continue to make their contributions to the development of Delta and the development of Nigeria. So on behalf of the National Universities Commission, it is my honor and privilege to first present to you the recognition letter for the University of Delta, Agbo, Delta State of Nigeria. Congratulations. The second one is the recognition for the Delta State University of Science and Technology, Ozoro, Delta State, as the 52nd state university in the country. Is the recognition of Dennis Osadebe University, Asaba, Delta State, as the 53rd state university in Nigeria. Congratulations. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much. Come and do it, please. Your Excellency, may I be the first to congratulate you and the people of Delta on this recognition. I'm sure the years will also tell you that with this recognition, he will pass information to NUC and JAM. I'm sure, let him do that formally, sir.
Thank you very much. We shall just wait for a few weeks when they invite us to pay a visit to the universities, and we resource verify, and we agree on which programs will essentially take off this year or will continue this year. We shall communicate to the NYSC so that they will put it in their system to say in the next 3 years or 4 years, we'll start graduating students. Don't say this is not a fake university, it's not been approved. And for JAM to now accept, we will give them quota. They may request for, they are already, like the Osadebe University, they are already offering degree programs and so on. So their quota may be higher than the normal quota we give to small universities. So we want the state to go back and the institutions, management and councils to quickly put a plan and invite the commission, and that is where Bishop Biodun Salu's team will be ready to just interact with the places, see the facilities, and then accept to recommend. Do we give them a quota of 3,000, 2,000, 5,000? Can they absorb this, and in which areas? Then we will quickly write to NYSC to say, look, be ready, and write to JAM and say, admit them up to this number for this year and henceforth. So we believe before long, the leaders of these institutions will come to us for some interaction. We thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I now invite you to give a response to these recommendations. Letters of recommendation, Your Excellency.
The Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission, the Executive Secretary of Third Fund, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. First, I want to express the appreciation of the government and people of Delta State for this honor done us as a state. We thank you for the recognition of the 3 universities that have been established by law by the Delta State House of Assembly. And the 3 universities, as you have told us already, are the University of Delta Abo, the Dennis Osadebe University Asaba, and the University of Science and Technology of Zoro, all in Delta State. As you have also rightly communicated to our people here and the press, these 3 universities so recognized today are not just brand new institutions, they are an upgrade of already existing institutions because we understand what it is and what it takes to start a brand new university as separate from what it is to upgrade an institution. I'll give, for example, the current recognition given to the University of Delta Abo. In that institution already running both NCE programs and university programs for other institutions. We already have a total of 82 lecturers with doctorate degrees employed by that institution, and a total of 192 lecturers that have the master's degree, and some of them are already undertaking studies in their doctorate programs. This just gives a sign of what is already there, already existing. And I believe that the monies we're already spending on that College of Education, we only just need some little addition to be able to fund it as a university. Because as of today, the College of Education Abo, to pay the lecturers and the workers in that place, the state spends $206 million on a monthly basis. And we're aware that many state universities don't spend up to that amount of money to run their universities. The same kind of thing exists in the other 2 institutions that have been upgraded. We like to think, we like to work, we plan. We do not just come with spontaneous ideas. This thing has been in our plan book since 2016, when we had our education summit in Delta State. It progressed. Then Professor Mobari was a consultant to us as a state government in education matters. He was then at the Delta State University of Abraka. And when we applied to a stage, I found that in 2019, there was the need to begin to progress to the state of execution. And I had to bring him in as the commissioner in charge of the Ministry of Higher Education. And today, with hard work, with consultants, with counsel from the National Universities Commission, we have been able to go thus far. I would like to reassure you that in the next 2 years, by the grace of God, we will create a solid foundation for total takeoff of these institutions. Such a foundation that anybody coming in after us will have no choice but to build upon. When you have a weak foundation, it is possible the whole institution could crumble. But we will not leave a weak foundation. We will truly fund the institutions. We will truly ensure that will have the best of hands and brains to come in. And we will ensure that by the time we're exiting in 2023, that the institutions who have gotten to a standard that nobody can do anything to enable it crumble. It's my assurance I hardly will undertake any program that I know I cannot take to finish. But I also know that it's the grace of God that leads me and that leads our state. We have the cooperation and the partnerships of a lot of people in our state. And we believe that with their advice and their cooperation, we will definitely work very hard to ensure that we take up properly. It is in our best interest. We were worried initially with the National Universities Commission. Will they accept to give recognition to 3 universities at a time? We were worried, but you made it easy through your wise counsel and also by giving us all needed support to be able to achieve the best for our people. As to whether we need the universities in Delta, truly we need it. Because as I said, the applications to ABRACA alone in 2019-2020 section, out of 25,000, a little over 22,000 were qualified. Only 4,000 plus got admission. So the question is, what happened to the other 18,000 people? We may not be able to bridge the gap completely, but if we're able to take it to a level where 50% of the people who are qualified can gain admission, then we would have added our own quota to the development and consolidation of tertiary education in Delta State. You have made it possible with your team. We are grateful as a state. We are grateful as a people. I want to reassure you that at the end of the 2 years, I'm sure that you'll be proud of what we have put in, but we also do realize that we need your wise counsel and we'll continue to relate with your office and with your management because we know that there's an embodiment of knowledge in the commission. We thank you so much for also making it possible for the Executive Secretary of TED Fund to be with us. They have done a lot to help our higher institutions in this nation. I'm just wondering what would have happened to most of the public universities and public institutions of learning without the TED Fund. The TED Fund was well planned, and they're achieving the results. It does not mean that our state government, as a federal government, that we have to leave all the efforts concerning development of institutions to the TED Fund. They are playing their role. The states must continue to be supportive in also playing their role so that we're able to provide enough space for Nigerians to access quality tertiary education. That is what we stand for as a government in Delta State. I want to thank you for enabling us to achieve our dream. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, you know, when you give a professor and a politician microphone to speak, of course, they will, you know what will happen. So we will adopt what the governor has done as the vote of thanks. Nobody will do it better than him. We thank you most sincerely, Your Excellency. What we simply do is, you see, I have white beard. I want to be...
next time. Stay blessed and God bless you.
Someday I want to be crowned as an imam. So we'll have 2 prayers now. The accredited bishop.